Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Light the Torch podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Jones. And to my left, we have Blackie Chan. Bottom left, we have Raul. Bottom right, we have Gunner.
Oh, fellas.
What's up?
So, today, fellas, we got a bye week. Yep, we play against bye this week, man. So, not much going on the front for us as far as USC is concerned, but we have a lot to talk about as far as the conference. Games are going on. We'll give you our Heisman candidates. We'll give you some predictions, so you can go out there and make your bets. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off, fellas. First quarter, we got Pac-12 predictions. So I'll read off the games. You guys go ahead and give me who you got. All right. So we're gonna go with our first game. We're gonna go CU, which is Colorado, versus Colorado State. Who you got for that, Gunner?
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, they already pretty much motivated them just now with that statement from CSU head coach. If you didn't see it already, so now it's personal. So yeah, Colorado.
You got a direct quote from Prime right there. So give me your thoughts on that real quick while we're at it, man. Give me your thoughts on what do you think Jay Norvell was trying to do with that?
Honestly, I think he, in some way, which doesn't make sense, honestly. But the only thing that I guess makes sense, but is firing up his team. I mean, they're 1-1, 0-2. Could be completely wrong on their record. Let me check real quick. 0-1. So I mean, they only played one game, which is interesting going into week 3. But yeah, maybe trying to fire up his team. That'd be my only guess. I mean,
right. I mean, as you know, that did get a lot of publicity, so you hear it's all over the headlines.
Right.
So or anything regarding Prime is over the headlines right now. But yeah, man, it's just interesting to see what you think. What you think on that one, Raul?
I'm going to have to go with Colorado as well. I mean, I'm tired of hearing from them, but, they are playing a pretty weak opponent, I believe. Looking at the spread, they're 21-point favorites, so should easily be a Colorado win, which is all right. It makes up for a more entertaining game next week with the Zeros, which I'll be pulling for Colorado actually for that game. But yeah, I think Colorado wins easily.
Right. Go ahead, Blackie Chan. What you got?
Growing up around this game here, it's definitely a rival game for them. CSU and CU, they've been playing for a long time, and CU's going to win this. And I don't think what Jay Norvell said really changed anything about this. It definitely probably sparked something within Coach Prime, but there was no doubt about it that CU was going to win this game. It's just CSU was pretty garbage last year, so I don't expect them to make any kind of headlines by beating CU this year, but who knows? But yeah, definitely CU by by like 4 or 5 touchdowns probably.
Right. As expected. Yeah. This is pretty unanimous. I think we're all going with CU. What I think Norvell is trying to do, 1, fire up his guys. 2, bring some publicity to CSU. Obviously, Deion's got the spotlight right now, so why not? I mean, all publicity is good publicity for a guy who's in that situation. No one's expecting much of anything out of CSU. They're not grabbing any recruits' attention. Why not make some headlines? 2, it's a rivalry game. What's a rivalry without a little trash talk?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I expect Colorado to win handily. And it's funny in Deion's quote, he said, it's just going to be a regular something like, just paraphrasing. It was just going to be a regular butt kicking, but now it's personal. So they already knew they were going to win that one too. They're like, yeah, we're just going to take it. Probably going to show some mercy, but now we're probably going to run it up like Dan Lanning at Portland State for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I don't
don't
expect
forget,
any surprises.
They were down 7-0.
Don't forget. That's
Right.
Yeah.
And then they wanted kudos for that.
Anthony James G being in the chat really early. Appreciate you showing up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks for joining.
He said, "I'm interested to see if the score goes up enough for Prime to pull his starters, but the push for the Heisman means as much stats for Sanders as they can." Yeah, that is true.
That is very interesting. I'm glad you brought that up.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does leave Sanders in there to kind of pad his stats.
Could that be what he means by now it's personal? Is that the plan? Maybe he leaves the starters in for a little longer than he probably had intentionally planned.
I also saw another clip where he said, he brought his mama involved, because you know how he said like I wasn't raised, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
he definitely did.
I mean, this could get like real personal if you're gonna bring mama involved. So we'll see.
I mean, his words were pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
So
my thing though is like being from Colorado most of my life, it should be personal regardless because this is a rivalry game that spans a long time. Like he's treating it like a normal game. This is a big game for CU and CSU fans and alums. Like there's a lot of bragging rights, especially where I grew up. Like it's a small rivalry, but it's a big rivalry in Colorado.
Yeah, you have more insight on that than he does. You know what I mean? So
but he should know this stuff. Like he should do his research because he is the head coach for CU. So
yeah,
kind of.
I'm sure he has some idea, but
yeah,
I'm sure he has some idea, but not as much as you. You grew up in it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I don't see this one being anywhere close. I don't think they match up talent wise at all.
No, not even.
You guys think it'll be over by halftime?
Yeah.
I can expect it to go somewhere around how our game went last week.
As much as I want the upset, I can't see it happening.
Yeah, no, I'm all primed out too. Don't get me wrong, but CSU ain't gonna be the one to quiet to humble them at all. Maybe Oregon, we go for that next week, but it definitely won't be CSU.
Yeah, with Anthony did say in Oregon. Yeah, Oregon could play that what is it called? Bursting their bubble on the way to the top. So
yep, if they don't, we will.
Rather us do it, but
yeah, somebody's got to do it. All right, next game we have. Oh, this is a good one here. Weber State and Utah. Who you got for that, guys?
Utah. Yeah,
you say that. Yeah,
might be a close one, but Utah.
Yeah. Yep. Got nothing other than that.
I'd say Utah. I really don't know anybody from Weber State, but being that it'll be in Utah, they have a solid defense. So
I can't see how Weber State's going to hang with them. Are they FCS? I don't even know.
I think for football, yeah.
Okay, but it's just like when is Cam Rising expected to be back?
Maybe this week. I haven't heard much on him. Yeah.
No. See, here's the thing about that too. I think I said it last episode. Everyone's talking about, when they're gonna be even better when Cam Rising gets back. They're gonna be even better when we don't know that. We don't know what Cam Rising we're gonna get back. You have the physical side of injuries, and then you have the mental side.
I think they will be better led than having two of these quarterbacks that have hardly ever started at Utah. Like I feel like just having Cam Rising in there is kind of a boost to their energy, probably because he is such a leader and such a winner for them. So I think that's where they will be boosted at. Whether he's going to be back to peak physical Cam Rising is yet to be known. But I just feel like he probably brings a different kind of energy to the field for them.
Okay, yeah. From a leadership standpoint, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hope they are better. That way, when we do play them.
I want them at full strength. I don't want any excuses. We definitely owe them. And it's funny because, I hear a lot of talk. Oh, yeah, you guys can't beat Utah. You guys can't beat Utah. Yeah, we lost to them twice last year. But I'll tell you what. If this USC team was to play last year's USC team, we'll beat them twice too. We're much better than this year than we are last year, And I don't know if I can say the same for Utah.
See, you know what bothers me if we beat Utah with Cam Rising not at full strength?
Oh,
Everyone,
that's all you hear.
everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, well Cam Rising wasn't at full strength," but then they don't even mention that to when we lost to Utah last year. Like, oh well, Utah just put a hurting on USC. It's like, do you not know what we were doing to them before Caleb got hurt?
Not just Caleb though.
Yeah,
Our O line was
our O
depleted.
line was very depleted,
and we didn't have the depth that we have this year.
Yeah, but like
so.
even with Caleb before Caleb got hurt, he was just putting a hurting on them.
Exactly.
Yep. And then best believe that's going to be the top headline when USC beats Utah. Oh, Cam Rising wasn't at full strength.
It's always the opposite for everyone else when it comes to us.
Exactly.
Like the narrative is different. Not the fact that that USC is just that good. Like, oh, they find some excuses for everyone else.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Move on.
So, next game. We got San Diego State, Oregon State. Guns?
Oregon State.
Absolutely. Want to elaborate? Oregon State roll?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it being close at all.
Right.
I was hopeful for San Diego State last week because I actually picked San Diego State to beat UCLA. I was really hopeful, but now I've kind of lost that hope. So, but Oregon State is the real deal. I can see them. I can see them playing us in the Pac-12 championship. So they're definitely a team to watch. They're very well coached, and DJ's looking like the quarterback he should have been coming out of high school. So.
Yep. Yeah, DJ's looking pretty good, man. I don't see any upsets brewing in this one by any means.
Question before we move on.
The top Pac-2 team next year, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if we were going to move on, but something I was thinking about for a couple days. Could you see Jonathan Smith going to the Michigan State job? If I mean, most likely it's probably going to become open, you know. So,
that's
if
weird,
very underrated coach, as we say, right? I mean, if he goes to a Big Ten with some solid NIL base, good everything, just it's an upgrade for him. So that's something like
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could.
Washington State. I mean, sorry, they Oregon State should Michigan State should definitely have their eye on them. If you know,
I mean, they have some good options out there, especially around the Big Ten. You know, the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators out there. But just something I've thought about since.
I think that would be an excellent hire. If they were smart, they would keep an eye on Jonathan Smith for sure.
Well, Anthony James made a good point that Jonathan Smith has set a consecutive win streak for OSU since he was their quarterback. So, that's a good eye right there.
That's true. So that's the only thing I think that would maybe keep him in place is the fact that he's a former player there. But he's kind of running the show over there right now. But money talks.
Yeah.
And if he wants to play big boy ball, the Pac-2 ain't it right now. So.
Right.
I still feel bad for Oregon State and Washington State.
Yeah, neither one. Well, I won't say neither one of them, but Oregon State definitely doesn't deserve that. Yeah, they don't deserve that at all, man.
I mean, Washington State's not bad. They're ranked number 23 right now, too.
No, but their athletic department is just a mess.
Yeah,
it's just a mess over there. Them and Cal is just they got all kind of issues over there to where they don't deserve it. So, but no, from a football standpoint, yeah, I agree with you. But all right, let's move on to the next game. Next game we have Michigan State and Washington.
Okay.
Speaking of,
I'm gonna go Washington here, even though it's their first road game. I mean, Michigan State's not the same team, especially with what's going on that we kind of mentioned already. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching because I haven't watched the Washington game yet, so I'm definitely will be trying to watch it, even though it's on Peacock. So we'll have to figure that out.
Hey, you got the links, man.
Right, exactly.
It's not hard to figure these days. All right, Raul, who you got?
I got Washington as well. Gotta show love to the Pac-12. I definitely want Washington either having one loss at most or being undefeated by the time we play them.
Absolutely.
I want USC to be the team that beats out every single one of these teams for the most part.
That would be nice.
So it's
Yep.
what is it, guys? What did we say earlier in the year? Revenge tour or something like that. So
Yep.
I mean, even though we beat them, but I just want USC to just derail everybody's hopes this year,
Absolutely. Lucky Chan.
including the Heisman chances as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be way too much for them. They're not the team that they were when they made the playoffs. What 2019? I don't remember
Yeah,
when he was
it's been a
hired.
while.
They're not that team anymore. Mel Tucker was not that guy, obviously. So should be interesting though. It should be interesting to see how they do on the road because they kind of looked a little bit vulnerable against Boise State in the first quarter or two, and then they kind of just took off. But Penix is he's too good for to be able to lose to Michigan State. Personally,
Absolutely. I think Michigan State is going to get a first taste of what the West Coast is going to bring to the Big Ten. Man, I don't think they're ready for the style of offense that Washington plays, and I think they're just going to torch the secondary. Pinks is going to have a big game, and yeah, man, I don't think Michigan State is ready. They got a lot going on over there. Don't know how much of a distraction that's going to be. Not that they had a chance before, man, but I don't see them winning that game either. I don't think there's a chance of an upset. But, crazy things happen. It's college football, but I can't see that right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely going with Washington on that one. Next game, we got North Carolina Central and FUCLA.
Real quick, just give a shout out to Anthony James for showing up, and have a good rest of your day at work.
Yes, absolutely, man. Appreciate you.
right on.
Yeah, I mean, I got the ruins.
Yep.
Yep, same thing. Same thing, guys. That's UCLA.
Yeah.
It's always going to be FUCLA. But unfortunately, we can't expect North Carolina State to beat them.
No.
Or not Northern, or what was
North
it?
Carolina Central.
Yeah, the North Carolina Central.
NC Central. A&T Tech. Whatever the hell. Blackie Chan.
I don't. This is not going to be much of a like. I didn't even think North Carolina Central was a thing. So
Yep, that is actually a school. Yeah. I don't expect them to be like South Alabama and give UCLA any trouble or like Coastal. But I expect UCLA to run through them, but who knows, man? It's UCLA, they may struggle a little bit. Who knows, man? But hopefully Kyle Ford has a big game. I know he's a traitor and everybody hates him right now, but I still pull it for Kyle Ford, man, until he plays us.
Hey, North Carolina Central, they're 2-0 in the MEAC conference. And number one,
Okay.
they beat North Carolina and T.
Oh,
So I mean, sure.
who knows? I guess we'll find out, right?
We'll expect a first quarter upset. Maybe keep it close in the first quarter, and then after they just fall off.
First quarter upset. I like that.
Hey,
All right. So our next game, we got Northern Colorado and Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Any surprise picks?
Black,
It's-
what's the rivalry with
I knew UNC was a school.
Colorado and all them.
Yeah, I mean, you're the most familiar with them, Blackie Chan. You got anything on Northern Colorado?
Northern Colorado, they're more of a basketball school. So
Didn't know that either.
yeah, they actually had a pretty good player that should have been good in the NBA, but he got injured in the what is it called, the March Madness. So, and I actually went to school with them too. So
That's cool.
But yeah, no, that's going to be an easy one for them. So
Yeah.
it's just a money game for them. But yeah, what's his name is too good. Cam Ward's too good as well.
Yep. So Northern Colorado, they're in the northern section of Colorado, and they have a football team. They're going to play football.
There's
Washington
the
State.
town smells like cow poop. It's
Well,
horrible.
okay, Cowtown, apparently.
It really is. It's in a cow town.
Gotcha. So speaking of Cowtowns, next game we have Sacramento State and Stanford. Who you got, guys?
This will be a cool one, just because, as we know, this is Troy Taylor's old team that he was the head coach. But Stanford, I think they bounce back.
Right, bro.
I think Stanford, Sacramento State will be an interesting game. Like Gunnar said, it might be a lot closer than people may think. I think Sacramento State will definitely keep it close at the very least.
Possible.
Yeah. Does anybody have do we know if Ashton Daniels is going to play in that game?
That's a good question. I haven't heard anything as far as the injury report. I mean,
I don't know what happened to him after our game, but
I
no,
haven't heard anything.
I'm not sure.
I expect Sacramento State to want to make a statement, but David Bailey, I think he's going to take his frustrations out from what happened last week on Sacramento State. So,
did he play last week?
They are 2-0, guys. Sacramento State's 2-0, guys. They got the better record. So,
hey, I mean, after what I saw from Stanford, they're definitely not our typical Stanford team. I mean, we got to give Taylor a little time to build his roster the way he wants it.
Yeah.
With that being said, he has a roster that he's built over there at Sacramento State that he just left. I'm not sure the type of offense that they run. If there's anything similar to his, it's built for that offense, obviously. So we'll see how that goes, man. I think that could be that could get interesting over there.
Stanford's going to be better next year,
for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like Daniels hasn't been cleared as of 2 days ago, so it sounds like they might do a QB change.
Okay. So we'll see. What's the guy's name? The backup?
Oh, that's a good question.
I have no clue.
I don't remember.
I apologize, but yeah.
Got Frankie Rodriguez on the chat, guys.
Hey,
what's going on, Frankie?
Put on, Frankie.
His name is Justin Lamson.
There you go, Lamson. Yep. So I don't think it'll be too much of a surprise there, but we'll see how that goes, man. We'll keep our eye on that one. All right, so this is probably one of the better games for the conference this season. I mean, this week. Let's say Oregon and Hawaii. Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's one of the better games. So you guys got, man, for Oregon and Hawaii.
We got Oregon here.
Yep, no surprise there. Let's just speed this up a little bit. Any surprise picks, guys? Anybody calling the upset on that one?
No.
Didn't think so. All right. Moving on. Fresno State and Arizona.
Fresno State versus Arizona State?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, you're good. I actually have Fresno State here. They've been surprising to me so far, Fresno State. I'm looking at their schedule real quick. They beat Purdue at Purdue. Mm-hmm. So, they're a group of 5 team. They came into Big Ten territory and defeated a Big Ten team. O-line for Arizona State has been battered. They have a lot of injuries. So, just questionable on, keeping that quarterback upright.
Bro?
I'm going to go with Fresno State as well. The quarterback seems to be doing a decent job this year. I think he's a sophomore year. He's from Arizona. So I think he's going to definitely put a strong effort to, just beat his home state school. So.
Right.
Yeah, Fresno State's actually a favorite in this game, a 3-point favorite. So this should be interesting to see how Arizona State bounces back after that loss. But I'm kind of interested to see how their their freshman quarterback does against Fresno State, but Fresno State's quarterback can sling it. He had like almost 400 plus yards in their first game against Purdue, so he had like 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, so he can sling it. So we'll see how that goes, but I want to give it to Fresno State. Fresno State's always a tough team, and they're very well coached. So
exactly, and they are always slept on, man. For some reason, Fresno State doesn't get the credit that they deserve. They've been pretty solid, man, this decade, you know, or at least
honestly,
half of the decade.
If they were FCS, sorry, go ahead.
No, you got it.
If they were FCS, they'd probably be national championships every year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, so I think they're going to win their conference, you know, or they can, you know, they'll be in the running for sure. Definitely one of the top teams in their conference. But yeah, man, they always seem to have a good quarterback, you know. So yeah, definitely got to give it to Fresno State. Which is crazy to say, man. You would, which is, you know, that Arizona State is going to do us no favors as far as bolstering our strength of schedule. Unfortunately, I expect that game to go a lot like the Stanford game for us next week. Even with them coming off a loss, because I expect them to lose this game too. I don't think they'll be any more motivated. I mean, I don't think their motivation will help at all. You know, they'll just be down in the dumps, and I don't see them getting any better. I mean, Rashada, I mean, obviously they'll get better because Rashada will get better, and they're going to go as far as he goes. But at the end of the day, he's just a true freshman, and he's going to go through his woes, you know. So yeah, Arizona State's going to have a rough one this season. But next game we got UTEP and U of A.
Arizona.
Yeah. Bro.
Arizona as well.
Arizona. I hope Jalen DeLora or Jaden DeLora kind of bounces back after a horrible outing last time.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty mad at Jaden DeLora, man, because I talked him up a little bit. You know, I was like, yeah, he's gonna get him fits over there, and we know that he's very capable of, but that showing was not it. It made me look bad, man.
I was expecting him to be the reason to win.
Man, I honestly thought he'll be in the early Heisman conversation. You know, just beating up on these lesser teams. You know, I thought he'd be going off, and then he eventually drop out once they play some real competition. That was how I thought the season would go for him. But so far, that has not been the case. But hopefully, he bounces back this week. Yeah, I mean, he's playing the right opponent, so we'll see how that goes. So that's going to wrap up our Pac-12 predictions. Am I missing any games? I think that's it. We covered everything, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we went over the Cal Idaho. If not Cal, I'm pretty sure everyone's in agreement on that one as well.
Yeah, we didn't go with Cal Idaho, but
Okay.
yeah, I agree. Cal should get a bounce back. If they don't do, yeah. But all right. So let's move on to second quarter. We got top 5 Heisman candidates. Who you got, Black? I'm sorry. You got Guns.
No, you're good. Yeah. So my top 5, and I'll do in order. So yeah, Caleb's number 1. Jordan Travis is number 2. Penix Jr. is 3. Quinn Ewers is 4 for me, and then Sam Hartman is actually 5 for me. So that's my top 5.
Ooh, a little Shador snub there.
Yeah, I mean, since you brought it up, I mean, the main reason why he's not at that 5 would be a good argument. They're going to lose at least 2 to 3 games. So at least. Given that, I mean, normally we don't see, a 3 to 4 loss guy, essentially win the Heisman. So, yeah.
Hey, Caleb did it last year.
Well, we 2 technically before he won, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I get that. All right, Raul, who you got?
This is going to be in order as well. I got Caleb, number 1. Jordan Travis, number 2. I got Michael Penix, number 3. Kewen Ewers, number 4. And then I'm going to go with a surprising pick, Drew Alar, if I'm pronouncing his name right, from Penn State.
Wow,
All right.
that's okay.
All
Haven't
right.
heard that one. That's a good one. Blackie Chan, you got?
So this is in order as well. It's Caleb, of course, and I want to go with Michael Penix at number 2, and I'm going to do Quinn Ewers 3. He looked really good against Alabama, and that's a big name. That's definitely going to boost his stock with that. And then Jordan Travis at 4, because LSU. I don't know. LSU could be a little overrated after that game, because they just look bad. And I was really disappointed in their defense, at least in the second half. So we'll see for that one. Then 5. This one is. I kind of want to show Travis Hunter some love, because he's doing his thing. Like, I think without Travis Hunter, they wouldn't be where they're at right now. They wouldn't be getting this love, because, like, Shedeur Sanders, yeah, sure, he's great. He's doing good things at CU, breaking records for them. But Travis Hunter, he was kind of Shedeur's like safety blanket for a lot of anything that will go wrong. Like when pockets break down, Travis Hunter was always like kind of in sync with him, so he was always bailing out Shedeur whenever there was any pressure. So I put Travis Hunter, but then honorable mention Sam Hartman.
Okay. So for myself, obviously number 1 is Caleb Williams. 2, I got Jesus, I can't even think his name right now. Jordan Travis, I'm sorry. 3, I'm gonna have Shedeur at 3. 4, Michael Penix. And 5, I'm gonna go Quinn Ewers. We'll see if that game was a fluke or not. I mean, don't get me wrong, Texas looking good. Ewers is looking good. We don't know. You know, sometimes Texas kind of bails out towards the end, man. So we'll see. But honorable mention for me, my dark horse is a guy from Kansas, man. Quarterback at Kansas, Jalen Daniels. Not too many people talking about him this year, but the guy can ball. He can ball, man. I think last year he probably would have been in that final run, man. You know, in the finals for the candidacy if he not gotten hurt. And now he's back, man, and he's looking like he's right back where he left off, man. So I mean, I think the wins may hurt him a little bit. I don't think I don't expect Kansas to do too much. I think they'll be in the top half of the conference for sure, but I don't think that's enough to get you some real Heisman love. But yeah, that's my dark horse guy, man. Just watch out for him. But aside from that, man, yeah, I expect those 5 to be in the running for the rest of this year. It seems like it's in a quarterback award anyway, yeah. But right up, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. We just talked about it. Not Shedeur, but Travis Hunter. Yeah, Travis Hunter's in there too, man. He's right outside of that too. Just like I'm saying, I don't know if he can sustain this level of play, playing all those snaps, and then he's setting himself up for injury. I don't know if I want to take that bet on him being in that finals, but as of right now, yeah, he's definitely in there. He's right up there, man.
From what I heard, his after games, he does not practice until like Wednesday.
Oh wow!
Like they have him do a lot of like therapy afterwards, and like he doesn't even really start practice until like Tuesday or maybe Wednesday or something, like Wednesday or Thursday. I know he goes through pregame and all that stuff, but they definitely like take a lot of off him during the week until like it gets time to like game prep and all that stuff.
It seems like last game I think he played more defensive snaps, right?
Yeah.
Seems like maybe they're slowly letting the other wide receivers do their thing, and then he just comes in for like, those special situations.
It's because they had to score that much on offense against TCU that they had to put him in there.
Oh, you know what? That actually reminds me, man. I want to say, I really hope next week we start practicing with elevation mask on, because that's something that doesn't get talked about enough.
True.
Playing in the elevation, and that's why those guys at Colorado are in such good shape. They practice in that elevation. And that is a real thing, man. Our guys will go out there huffing and puffing out there while they're just not even breaking a sweat. That could be an issue. What I mean? That's why I said that Colorado game is one to watch. But yeah, hopefully Lincoln, get that elevation mask going for all the players, man, starting next week. That'd be just a good idea to do.
Who do you guys think will be at the ceremony when it's all said and done?
I'm gonna stick with what I just gave you right
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say
Top three? Those top
Yeah.
three?
Is it
Yeah.
top 3 or top 4 that goes?
I think 3 now.
Top three.
Top 3.
Yeah, so yeah,
I
that'd
think
be
it's
my
fair.
top 3 right now.
So
Well,
top 3,
Who was there last year? It was Caleb,
Duggan.
Spencer, and Duggan.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could see Ken's face right now.
OSU quarterback
Oh yeah, CJ.
Yeah.
CJ. So yeah, it was 4. I don't know if they
Okay.
cut that down.
Same 4 then. Okay. 3-4.
Yeah, I think my top 4 will be there as well. But
Yeah.
I think actually maybe I think Sam Hartman will drop out
Yep.
towards the end, and I could see either Jordan Travis or actually I don't think FSU. FSU has kind of a like the rest of their schedule is pretty easy. I think maybe Quinn could possibly fall out.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, you never know with Texas, man.
Yeah,
I got to see a couple more games. They look good right now. Don't get me wrong.
Nope.
They look really good. But
My dark horse is the quarterback from Penn State, Drew Allure, and I think Penn State's going to surprise people, even though they didn't look the greatest first. But I just think they're probably going to be the team that comes out of the Big Ten.
I'm not
They
mad
have
at that
a
at
rough
all, man.
schedule.
It's possible. They do.
they play Ohio State and Michigan this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
gonna be
neither one
rough.
of those teams look that great, to be honest.
Nope.
Based on what we've seen so far.
I think Michigan's never really been known to score a lot though.
Sure.
Like
Mm.
they
they don't really have
they
a
lean on
high-powered
their run
offense.
game and all that stuff. So
I mean, you're facing UNLV though, and
yeah,
East Carolina or whatever. It's
yeah.
can't score this 40. I mean,
Right.
No one goes as fast as us though. Like we literally like the first quarter, we're up to the line quick. We're ready to fire right away.
And that's what we're going to be putting games away early. They're going to get out of hand because we're going to go up. You're not going to be able to control the clock on us.
Yeah.
We're going to go up early, and then you're going to be forced to pass the ball, and then our pass rush is going to get after you. And that ball's going to be flying everywhere. So, yeah, we're going to be beating some of these teams that they don't think we can pretty decisively at that.
Is the big noon game, Big Ten, or the Fox? Is it gonna be Penn State, Illinois? You guys know?
the game will be. I don't think the crew will be there.
Are you talking about the big noon?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
big.
Yeah, the game.
That's
will
also
be
that's
big
going to
noon.
be at CSU's CU game as well. I
Yeah.
think.
Crew will be at the CSU game.
So is that game home or away for CU?
What?
Home. It's a home game.
How
for
is
CU.
that? How is that a prime game? Like a prime time game?
Yeah.
They're reaching.
Well, yeah, they're definitely.
There's
reaching
really
for
no
that.
other. I mean,
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's get into our third quarter. Yep. So let's get into our top 10 teams and see what's going on, man, over there.
yeah. So in order here: Georgia, FSU, Texas, USC, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Notre Dame, and Bama.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, man. Why is it so hard for Bama to drop out of the top 10?
I didn't like don't like what I've seen out of Utah. That was kind of my other thought was Utah. I just didn't like what I saw out of Baylor. And it could be just maybe a little SEC thing, SEC bias and Nick Saban, but I just still think they're a really good team. So I mean, like if Bama and Utah played right now, I think I got Bama.
Absolutely. But listen, here's the thing that kills me. And I said it last week. That all these national media guys were saying preseason, in preseason, they were all saying how Bama doesn't have receivers, which is true. Bama doesn't have a quarterback. It's true. Well, the coaches don't look the same either, which is true. So how the heck are they ranked in the top 5? What are we looking at? Just Nick talent Saban? Composite alone? Yeah, Nick Saban. Well, it's crazy how, suddenly Nick Saban doesn't look so great after the transfer portal era, huh? Or NIL era, when everyone else is allowed to pay their players. I mean, what? Suddenly Nick Saban's not so great anymore, huh?
It's Nick Saban and SEC bias.
It's crazy. It is crazy, and I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of it. It hasn't done any good for the game. There's more fans outside of the SEC. Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty much only hurt them more as the season goes because I mean the teams behind them, they have big games coming up. So,
yep. And it's crazy because you see these national media guys like, for instance, Josh Pate calls himself Pac-12 Pate. I don't know how he got that name. Yeah, but you don't even have – you call yourself Pac-12 Pate, but you don't have CU in your top 25 at all. What? And you have you have Alabama, who just lost, above SC at number 5.
Right.
They just lost by double digits at home, but you have them above the USC at number 5. How? Like this SEC bias stuff is just getting ridiculous, man, and it's not good for the game, and I'm tired of it. And I know I'm not the only one.
They got LSU ranked number 14 over Oregon State.
Right, and I can guarantee I would love to see that game. I would love to see that one.
I think Oregon State beats them. In my opinion.
Yep, I think there'll be some very surprised people down south. But yeah, moving on. That was my little rant. So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's my top 10 for what I think. Raul, I think you're up.
So say my top 10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll go with Georgia 1 just because they're back-to-back champions. You got to respect that, even though if we're just looking at them this season, they don't really deserve that spot. But being that it's Georgia, I'll go number 1 Georgia. I'll put USC number 2. There might be some bias there, guys.
A little bit of bias, maybe.
But
I'm not mad at it.
I just feel like we could beat anybody.
Yeah.
So I'll put us at number 2. I'll put Michigan at 3. Florida State 4. Texas 5. I'll put Washington at 6. Did I say 6, guys? Or am I? No, right?
No, that's fine.
Yeah, Washington 6. Ohio State 7. Penn State 8. Notre Dame 9. And then 10. I'll go Tennessee. Forget Alabama at the top 10.
Okay. All right.
Lucky Chan,
that's not a bad list. That's not a bad list. I got Georgia. I want to put, Georgia at number 1, Michigan at number 2, and honestly, I'll put Florida State at 3, and I'm gonna flip USC and Texas. I honestly think if we were to play Texas right now, we'd beat Texas, and honestly, I could put us at 3 because I could see us beating Florida State as well. I could see us beating anyone. I could literally put us at 1, but I'm not going to because I know if anyone decides to comment on this, they'd kind of get mad at me for that.
Hey,
But
Black, we might go viral. Just go ahead and throw that one.
but no, like I'm pretty confident that we are the top 4 teams in the nation right now, and Texas at 5, Penn State at 6. I think they're easily better than Ohio State right now. Ohio State, like the fact that they are this far into the season and they're struggling and they do not know who. Well, they just named Kyle McCord as their quarterback, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but
Officially.
I also heard that Devin Brown will still play, maybe some like packages. But yeah, it's a weird deal.
They're not looking good. If they lose a game, it's going to be because of quarterback play, and that's kind of easy. And I'm pretty sure Marvin Harrison Jr. wishes he would have transferred by now. But that's neither here or there. But Penn State, honestly, I think Penn State's going to beat Ohio State by double digits. They're going to put a beating on them, kind of like what Michigan did last year. That's my prediction for that. But you know what? Screw it. I'm putting Washington at 7 and moving Ohio State to 8 because I think Washington can beat Ohio State. And then this is definitely going to change within the next 2 weeks, but Notre Dame will be at 9 because they play Ohio State at the end of the month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, yep.
What is it next week?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, next week's a great week.
All right. And so that could switch those 2 teams around. That could probably drop Ohio State out of the top 10 for me. And then I know Brandon doesn't like this, but I'm going to put Alabama right now at 10 because I can't see Tennessee beating Alabama. Joe Milton, everyone hyped him up. I think he played good last year because no one knew what to expect because what's his name got hurt, so he just came in and took everybody by storm. But now that there's tape on him, more tape, I don't think he's gonna. I think people are going to start looking for Nico to show up in some games soon. So, but yeah, and yeah, that's it. That's my top 10. But yeah, Alabama's still in the top 10 because I don't see any other teams behind them.
All right. For the record, I'm not mad at them being in the top 10. Just don't put them in the top 5.
Yeah, we're good there.
I just don't feel like they should have never been there.
I agree.
Right? But yeah. So I'm gonna go Georgia 1 just because they're the reigning national champs, which at some point we're gonna start penalizing them for their horrible schedule. Because they're out on, weeks from now we can't keep putting them at number 1. Sorry. But I'm gonna go Florida State 2, just because they look that good. I'm gonna go Texas 3, and then I'm gonna go us at 4. And the only reason why I have us at 4 is because even though I feel like we can beat all these teams that I just mentioned, we just haven't played anybody yet, and that's just the reality of it. We made Stanford look like an FCS school, which and we won't really know like how big of a deal that was until they actually play somebody, too. So. But so yeah, as for now, I'll put us at 4. I'll go Michigan 5. Did I say Ohio State?
Not yet.
Yeah, Ohio State 6. I'm gonna go Washington at 7. Bama at 8. Tennessee 9. And Notre Dame at 10. Yep. Nothing too crazy. Just
Okay.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but yeah. Bama's cool at 10. I mean, in the top 10, but just don't try to convince me that they're a top 5 team. They're not. Simply not.
Have you ever seen the YouTube channel Matt Be Great?
I've heard of it.
I have not.
Yeah, he does college football, but he's a big Bama fan, and
Okay, I don't even want to watch.
he's pretty funny to watch. But I don't know, like after that Bama game, he posted up like 2 videos after Bama lost to Texas, and it looked like he was having a meltdown.
I gotta watch. Definitely gotta watch that. All right.
I'll
So-
say this, guys, before we move on to the next quarter.
What's up?
If USC goes undefeated, Georgia goes undefeated, USC deserves that number 1 spot.
Oh, absolutely. And it'll be robbery if we don't get it.
Based on strength of schedule, which they're saying that our schedule is pretty weak, which I don't see how when there's
Listen.
8 top 25 Pac-12 teams.
I'm gonna tell you exactly how this is gonna go. Right? What episode is this? All right, so we're gonna a couple weeks from now we're gonna come back to this bye week episode, right?
Mhm.
And just remember I said this. Georgia, whatever SEC team that Georgia's gonna play, they're gonna move them up in the rankings the week prior, just so they can say, "Oh yeah, they just played a top whatever team." I guarantee it. They do it every year. That's how the SEC rolls, man. They do it every year, and they're only going to play 8 conference games, and they're going to rank whatever opponent up higher the week before they play them. Remember, I said this. It's the bye week episode. Remember, we're going to come back to this, and remember that B. Jones said that they were going to do this because it's definitely going to happen. Just watch.
Yeah, Frankie says when we get through Notre Dame, Utah, and Washington, you think that they would put us at 1 or 2? I don't think they would.
They should.
They should, but
They
I don't
should.
think they will.
But yeah,
Who's going to be on top? I would think they would put us. I mean, they got to eventually start showing USC some love. Who do you think is supposed to be higher if we do get through all that?
You know how hard it is for them to give us love? They say that we have a weak schedule, but they're also saying the Pac-12 is like one of the best conferences.
exactly.
I don't get how that makes sense.
Exactly. Well, the ones that have no clue what they're talking
I
about,
mean,
like Stephen A. Smith, is the one who
Utah could potentially
said
be
we
a
have a weak
top.
schedule.
That could be 3 top 10 teams we beat in a very short span. So I could see it happening.
Yes, and plus we're playing 9 straight Power 5 games. No one's done that or is doing that. 9 straight after this bye week.
No.
Make it make sense.
It's about to be a wild ride.
Yeah, that's unheard of, man.
Yeah, I don't get how they just constantly discredit us with with if we go undefeated, they'll be looking at every team that's in the top 10 that we played. They're like, they're all right. And then a day later, they're like, oh yeah, this team's really good.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna move on to the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, we got top games of the week. Listen, just a disclaimer: there are no actual top games this week.
Yeah, more like most interesting.
yeah. There's no actual top games, but there are.
Maybe the biggest storyline is that Colorado.
Yeah, apparently, hey, that's how bad it is this week. CSU just jumped into a top game.
No.
Yeah, they're having a game day. I think this is their first game day ever.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how bad this week is. I don't even know how the schedules got approved, but yeah, it's not a good weekend for college football this week. But we're gonna do our best to make it sound exciting, I guess.
Hey guys, we can do all our errands this week.
Right. So let's start with you guys. Who you got?
Yeah, I'll just kind of name a few. So one that just was weird to me, just because normally I don't see this team going on the road to like a non-top 25 team. Alabama going on the road to face South Florida. I mean, Alabama should win that, but that was just weird to see when looking at the schedule. I like the Tennessee-Florida game. It's at Florida in Gainesville. I would not be shocked if Florida somehow came away with this game. Tennessee's only favored by 6. I think it was like 6.5 at first. It looks like the money's going towards Tennessee. And then the last one would be Pittsburgh, West Virginia. They're close in proximity, so it's a rivalry game, and it's going to be on ABC here at 4:30 Pacific time. So one of the primetime games. So yeah, those are my three, I guess.
So I guess I can't say we don't have any interesting games. We got a couple rivalry games in here, but it's just not on the scale of what rivalry week would be. But we got some games that could get interesting. Go ahead, Raul.
Just my top games. It's going to be Penn State, Illinois. I want to see if Penn State could definitely put their mark and put themselves in contention for potential playoff contending team. I'll go with, who's the other one? LSU, Mississippi State. I want to see what LSU is all about. If they look bad versus Mississippi State or even take a loss. Maybe that diminishes some of Florida State's hype, and LSU's just overhyped. Who knows?
Yeah.
The other one I was looking at, it was, I think Gunner mentioned it. It's Tennessee, Florida. Kind of similar situation. I want to see what Tennessee's all about to see if they're a deserving potential top 10 team. But I think that's probably going to be the closest team to potentially lose this week. That's that are top 15 teams.
Right.
Or ranked top 15 teams.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
So,
Go ahead, Blake.
So Frankie Rodriguez actually said my game that I was actually going to say, Washington and Michigan State. With all the controversy that's going on with Michigan State, people are going to be talking about it. Or actually, I don't think they'll probably. They may talk a little bit about it, but since it's kind of a sensitive subject, they may not. But they'll probably just talk about Mel Tucker being fired or suspended and just seeing how that's going to affect the team. But I'm definitely interested to see Washington go against Michigan State, since I think that could be an interesting rival moving forward when they go to the Big Ten. And teams that don't normally play each other is going to be interesting. Minnesota and North Carolina. That's going to be interesting. My buddy's flying out to North Carolina to watch it. Shout outs to Flo, even though he talks a lot of crap about USC just because I like them. He actually says he wants to join in the podcast so he can talk a lot of crap. But
let's start off in the live chat, man. Tell me, come talk some crap in the live chat for a little bit.
Maybe I will. And then Tennessee and Florida. That's a rival game. For a while, Tennessee couldn't win in Florida for a long time. So, did they win? Was it? No, I don't think Florida went to Tennessee last year, I think. So this is going to be an interesting one because it's been a while since Tennessee has beaten Florida at Florida in the Swamps. That's going to be a game to watch personally. And that's pretty much the games that I think could be interesting. But I do like the Penn State and Illinois. Drew Aller from Raul made me kind of think more Penn State could actually win the Big Ten this year.
Right, it's possible. They're not too far away, from the other team, top teams in the Big Ten. That's for sure. Especially based on what we've seen this far.
Yeah.
So obviously we got Colorado State and Colorado, which is a big game. Suddenly. It's a rivalry game, so that's one of the more interesting games this week. Tennessee, Florida is another interesting game, but one that caught my eye. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see Wyoming this year.
Yeah.
They don't look too bad, man. And I'm not saying that they're going to beat Texas, but they could possibly give Texas some run, That's so that one is another one that I got my eye on. Now, one I haven't, I didn't get a chance to catch the Texas Bama game live, so I definitely want to see them live, see Texas live. So I'll be watching that one. But other than that, Michigan State and Washington, like Frankie said, that's another one. And another rivalry is Tulsa, Oklahoma. But who cares about that game? Other than that, man, I don't really see anything that really jumps off the screen that, hey, I got to watch this. But, Bethune-Cookman might beat Miami. Who knows? No, I was kidding. No,
They're
that'd be
down
crazy.
21-0 right now, or 20-0.
Yeah, who know? Hey, they got a comeback, bro. No, but honestly, I really hope that the U is back. You know what I mean? It's great for college football when they're up. Just like it's great for college football when us and Texas are up. So yeah, I hope for their sake that they are back because it's been a long time coming. Since 03? That's the last time they were
Yeah.
actually like,
So,
That is a long time, yeah.
yeah. So
I guess I just don't like crystal ball, so I don't really
yeah,
care.
that's the thing. Cristobal is the head coach. She's gonna get them players, that's for sure. You know, I think they just got a 5-star today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
yeah, 2025 kid.
yeah. I mean, we know he can recruit. We know Cristobal's a great recruiter. X's and O's, not
he's
so
got
much.
a back pocket too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we know how they get down over there at Miami. No secret. But yeah, so we're gonna move over into our overtime segment. For our overtime segment, we have some recruiting updates for our program at USC. So go ahead and take it away, Gunner.
Yeah, so just a disclaimer, apologies if I say these names wrong. English is definitely not my strong suit, but just kind of give you guys an update. So we're 18th on 247, 17th and 1. We don't use rivals, so just apologies there if anyone uses rivals. So to go over just a few of the targets we have upcoming. So we have Jalen Harvey, edge. Player from the DMV area. So Roy Manning's actually visiting him tonight. Just visited Maryland, to my understanding, and he visits Penn State next weekend. Should be announcing the end of month. It's pretty much an SC Penn State race. The last I've heard is it sounds like SC's gained some ground and we could be in the lead, but it's still Penn State who he's been talking for some years. So keep an eye on that. Jericho Johnson, D lineman. Sean New is actually visiting him tonight as well in California. He's down to SC, Utah, Washington, and Oregon. We'll probably decide in December, maybe November, after he does some more official visits with some of these schools. And then linebacker from Utah, Abraham Asata. Again, I'm probably saying that name wrong. Apologies, buddy. But you just had a great official visit at Stanford game. Hope you enjoyed it. You're down to, I believe, SC, BYU, and Utah. One of the quotes from what I read is USC is definitely up on the charts right now, not only for me, but for my whole family. And I haven't seen no timetable on the announcement, but the last I heard is he was crystal-balled to Utah back in late August. But those are, can change. And then if you were wondering, if we got all three of these guys, what would it look like? We'd probably hit the top 15 in 247, most likely, depending on the other schools, obviously. And then just a few wait and sees. Doesn't sound like we're pursuing, as much, but, you never know. Justin Tamu, probably saying that last name wrong. He's in Huntington Beach, offensive tackle. He's committed to Stanford, so he could be a flip. Jason Mitchell, Trojan legend from his dad, essentially. He goes to St. John Bosco. He's a potential grab. Isaiah Rubin, another potential grab from Los Alamitos, and then Elijah Gordon. And then if you're wondering as well, if we got all those four people as well, we'd probably be in the top 11, maybe top 10. But so again, we're outside of the top 10 right now, 15. At the end of the day, this is a new era of recruiting where we have the portal as well. So that will boost up, I'm sure. But I mean, overall, this is a solid recruiting class in terms of quality, regardless of the quantity. We're in, almost 70% in terms of blue chip recruits in this class. So that's a great thing to see.
All
So
right.
I mean, that's pretty much what I have, guys, in terms of a recruiting update.
All right, that's Gunnar Atterbury with our recruiting update. You can check him out at Views from the Stands, and
Yes.
you catch that on Spotify, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. And make sure you go ahead and check Gunnar out, man. Back to recruiting. So, what I was going to say to you guys about recruiting before we started. What do you guys think about the landscape changing, right? So obviously, coaches like Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney are finding out that you have to use the portal now. So I expect one, they're trying to make rules and how we use the portal now. I think it's to hinder USC. I think they're going to call it the USC rule. But but what do you think about Lincoln Riley's approach to recruiting now? You think that will change because there's going to be a lot more competition? I think these coaches are going to realize that they have to use the portal now, and there's going to be a little more competition in recruiting players out of the portal. Do you think Lincoln Riley's going to adjust his stance as far as high school recruiting? Let me get your opinions on that.
I think he'll keep doing his thing. Obviously, he knows what he's doing in the portal. From what I heard or read, because I don't have any inside contacts within the USC program, but from what I've read, I mean, USC is killing it with portal transfers, and part of it is because we are paying some portal players, which I'm totally on board of doing. I'd rather get a proven player than get a potential 4 or 5 star on the high school rankings, and they can completely be a bust, right? So I think he'll continue to pursue the portal very heavily, especially if we have big holes to fill, and then make some adjustments on the high school end where he starts looking at that part of the recruiting a little bit deeper, and then just try to balance it out, maybe go 70-30 in terms of high school, 70 and 30% transfers, and those 30% transfers are probably going to be like players that could come in and be starters from day one.
Right. I mean, essentially, that's what he's doing now. As far as you guys, he's not getting intentional backups. Everyone that we brought in is we expected to be competing for a starting job. I'm not exactly sure what happened with Fegans.
I think he's hurt, to be honest. I heard he's could be banged up. So hopefully he's getting some good work this bye week. I know it's something that kind of like Grinch mentioned, and he didn't call him, out in particular, but he said, somebody that, wasn't doing fall camp, and that's technically was him. He was, late and then the process. Gotcha. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah, hopefully, that would definitely be a big added boost to our secondary. One that would be definitely needed. You got thoughts, Bucky Chan?
Yeah, I guess I'm still part of the old school where I want to see the high school recruits come through. But definitely, and what is it called? The transfer portal has been very kind to us. A lot of our big contributors have been transfer portals. So I know he's probably going to be looking at the transfer portal a little bit more, especially it's easier for our NIL to get behind the transfer portal than it is for the high school. But I do want to still see some emphasis in the high school rankings as well. Because players like Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch, if they somehow went somewhere else, I don't think we would have seen them in the transfer portal. Because if he went to Oregon or Georgia, they would have easily done whatever they could have done to keep him there with NIL or whatever. But I do want to see a little bit more emphasis with the high school because it's still a big part of it. We can't just always I know it is possible to rely on the transfer portal, but sometimes the players that we get from the transfer portal may not even work out as well. So just because they're proven at another school just doesn't mean that they're going to be proven somewhere else as well. So
yeah, scheme fits definitely make a lot of sense in that regard. But my thing is, so why we're not seeing Alabama dominate as much is because they just stack their teams too high. And players are like, okay, why am I sitting over here in the bench when I can go over here to USC? They want me and I can compete for a starting job instead of waiting behind these guys for 3 years. I'm a 5-star too. And I think we're seeing that more now. And so we have teams that like Georgia and Alabama who've been stacking 5 stars for how long now that they just get, lost in the shuffle. I didn't say it, Bucky Chance. All right. They get lost in the shuffle.
You could
And
say it.
no,
Lost in the sauce.
that's his. That's his. Well, shout out to USCJ, man. But but yeah, man, they get lost in the depth chart, and they can definitely play at this level, and they're just sitting there stuck. And then like, hold on, I can go over here to USC. Who's over there? Oh, Bear transfer. Let's see how that's. Oh man, what's Bear driving over there? How's Bear living over there?
He's
So I
living
think
good.
yeah. So I think we'll still get our wins in the transfer portal. But I do think it'll be a little more competitive now, especially if we got Prime coming as well too. I expect next year is going to be huge for Prime. I think this year, guys just wanted to see what it looked like, and no one really expected, especially with all the pub that he's getting. Who wouldn't want to play for Prime? I'll tell you right now, I would. I'd play for the guy. Great motivated, great man.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him, but you can't deny that. Great father. Great father figure. So. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little more competition heading into next season as far as transfer portal goes, and I mean, we'll see how that works out. Maybe Lincoln Riley adjust the stance, or USC adjust the stance a little bit with high school players, but
I could see it happening just for the fact of Mama Jen. Shout out to Mama Jen always, but yeah, I mean she was supportive of it at Washington. That was one of the first things she said. She wants to get her hands dirty into it. I mean, I know it's early, but our 2025 class is looking good in terms of some of the targets. So maybe they make that change, into the 25 class.
right. And I can understand the hesitation, given our history with the NCAA. We just, expect them to be much more harsh on us than anyone else because they're looking for a reason, So, but as of right now, it's kind of like we're almost like Dabo Swinney in that sense, It's like, why not play the game, if we can? But I mean, I understand both sides. So but we'll see, man. We'll see how that goes going into next season.
And Brandon, I think that it's going to play itself out eventually. There's going to be more focus on high school kids, which they are focusing on high school kids, but being that we didn't have the depth, we needed to rely on the transfer portal, and we still need to rely on the transfer portal because a lot of the players are going to either they're going to go to the league. Let's just call it how it is, right? A lot of these players are losing their eligibility to play with college football, so we're still got to rely on the portal. But as the years go by, we're going to have great high school athletes just sitting there getting ready to play for us, right? So I think that it eventually is going to play out to where it's going to be more high school, being that we're going to focus on the top 4 or 5 stars and then the very elite transfer portals maybe that join.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll still be able to pick, cherry pick what we want out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, we got a comment from Frankie Rodriguez. You think kids we lost out on to other schools would eventually come over in the portal? Money is fun, but actually winning is better, no?
Not only that, they're going to realize that USC's actual NIL is better than anything they got going over there because they got that upfront money, but what happens when that run out? Right. There's not too many other schools out there that are doing NIL the way USC is doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many guys do you really see on national televised commercials, man? I mean, Prime's doing it just because, he's Prime.
Right.
And he's, but aside from that, all you see is, as far as nationally televised commercials, man, you see Caleb all over the place. Even Kyle Ford last year was in the AT&T commercial, and he wasn't even a starter.
But Kyle Ford was?
Yeah. Yep. So.
And Brandon, you brought up a good point. That upfront money, they can easily blow it in that first
exactly
year.
You giving,
and then if they don't have no financial advice, and
we're talking about 18-year-old kids here.
Yep, and a lot of these schools may make it seem like they truly care for these individuals, but they really want It's just their skill set, right? And if for whatever reason they're not producing or they blow all their money, they're going to be put in a bad spot, and it's probably going to be lesson learned for a lot of these kids.
Exactly. So what happens to that? So you get this 5-star kid, right? A big load of money. He comes to your school, and then he's not exactly panning out the way you want. So you think that kid's going to get other NIL opportunities, which they don't really have to begin with? They just handing out bags of cash. They're not going to be so quick to hand that kid another bag of cash.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not producing. So then what happens?
I'm hoping to see a lot of players that we did miss out. Like, I don't know. I know Francis Parago has started. I'm hopeful that he could somehow join us, but I doubt he will. But you never know.
Never
I mean,
know.
I could see it just like Anthony Lucas started to jump in, but I mean, technically we were recruiting him around that 2022 season. Obviously, it makes sense why he didn't want to come with us due to the head coaching change. But
Right.
you know, as long as you keep those relationships going, then it will turn out.
Yeah, I expect to see some.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was just saying I expect to see some guys hop in the portal and head their way over here after the season. That you know we're almost on the verge of that this year.
Does anyone know where David Bailey's at with his degree yet?
I think I heard he was pretty close to graduating.
Really? Yeah. Hey, listen, I
Go
can't
ahead,
blame him for wanting
graduate.
to get that degree from Stanford, man.
Come on over.
Yep.
But not only the transfer portals, I feel like we have a really good chance of flipping a lot of kids this year. I mean, it's still early in the recruiting process. I mean, it's not early, but you know, it's not late. It's too late yet. If we do well, and we're definitely a playoff team, I can see us flipping a lot of the kids we might have lost on. I mean, a lot of these kids, if quote unquote, oh, why did you flip? Oh, because coach told me that I was still his guy, so I wanted to flip. So Lincoln Riley could just do the same. Hey, you're still my guy. I know you flipped from us, but I still want you. So
See,
these kids are gonna come back.
Listen,
Yeah, I think it just comes out of the back half. See how they like it and what they see.
well, like along those lines with that, I hope KVA is at the Notre Dame game, and I really hope
I hope he hears from God again.
he comes to a come to Jesus moment and goes to USC.
We won't.
Right, for real.
But that's another thing, right? So now we finally have a national media guy starting to admit, you know, Joe Klatt, USCJ did a whole video on that. Joe Klatt finally starting to admit, like, oh wait, USC does have a defense.
He still ranked us at 7 though.
Yeah, and then ranked us at 7. That was pretty weird.
Shout out to
he kind of regrets it a little bit, but
yeah, he even admitted to that, which is I gotta give him props to, you know, he's correcting himself a little bit. And I know it's eating him up. You know, he really didn't want to, because he's one of our biggest haters for sure.
Well, he ended up agreeing with what's his name?
With Colin Cowherd, yeah.
Cowherd. He's like he didn't want to agree with him, but he did.
Absolutely.
I'm going blank on the name, but he's the ESPN guy. Always wears the mascots.
Corso.
Lee Corso.
Yeah, Lee Corso. He picked USC to beat Georgia in the championship game recently. So.
Reese Davis as well, even though he doesn't do picks.
And you know what's crazy? My first thought was Georgia got to get there. that was the crazy. Not us. I was like, Georgia got to get there.
Yeah.
but yeah, no. And I said that because what does that mean for the rest of it? You know what I mean? So what does that mean for the rest of the season, and how it'll go for not just Georgia, but the SEC period, man? How do I put this?
The SEC is coming to an end when it comes to their dynasty.
Yeah, their reign is drawing nigh, man, which is crazy. If you look at college football in the rankings right now, they look a lot like it did 20 years ago before the SEC's reign started, right? After a certain event happened that Rick and Naya had mentioned, that certain event that happened over here at SC. It's kind of interesting, right? It's,
Yeah, but they're going to try to
I
find
don't.
some way to screw us again.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence by any means.
They don't want
You
us
know.
with power.
Hey, we can get deep into that, but how the SEC came to power to begin with. But I just find that interesting that it's starting to look like it did right before that, right? College football. All of a sudden, all the blue bloods are black. All the rest of the blue bloods, instead of just two, are back and ready to scrap. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays itself out.
Who would you guys all want USC to play in the national title?
I want to play an SEC team.
You want to play SEC?
Yep. Actually, I want to play the best available. I don't even care if it's an SEC team. Just give us the best so we can say we beat the best available.
I want to play Texas.
That would be dope.
I want revenge.
That would be dope. But the only thing is, the game is in Texas. The national championship is in Houston this year.
It'll even be a bigger revenge tour.
Yeah. It would be that much sweeter for
Beat them
sure.
at their own state.
Yep.
But personally, I want to see Georgia, just because. Which is funny because I didn't even pick Georgia to make it to the playoffs this year. But I don't see them making it to the playoffs this year. I just feel like somehow they're going to end up blowing it. But probably Georgia, just so USC can cement themselves and say that we're definitely back on the top. If we can beat Georgia, preventing them from getting a three-peat, I think that'd be super sweet.
Here's my thing about that rule. We still don't even know what Georgia is at this point. We know that they're definitely not what they were last year. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I want to play the best available because we still don't know as far as Georgia. They haven't played anybody. They haven't been tested yet.
Yeah, I think I've been preaching the fact that if Georgia, Bama, Ohio State lose, it's all because of their quarterback play. And we already saw one of those happen with Bama losing. They lost due to their quarterback.
Yep.
So that's one down, two more to go.
Exactly. Yep.
What do you got, Gunner?
Frankie said.
So I mean, I liked all those. I did, I like the Georgia one because of the potential three-peat. Texas would be great to rebound, but I'm actually gonna go FSU. I want to see that matchup. I think that is one of the offenses that can keep up with Caleb potentially, given their weapons. So I think that would be a pretty fireworks. So
Keon Coleman would be pretty scary to go against.
Right. Even Johnny Wilson, he's a huge, tall wide receiver.
What is he, like 6'4"?
Even though he sometimes drops the ball a little bit like Brendan Myers.
Johnny Wilson, man, I watched that kid since high school. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not overly impressed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's bad. He's pretty good, but I'm not overly impressed by the kid. I wouldn't consider him a major threat.
Yeah,
he drops a lot of balls.
Frankie Rodriguez says Alabama so they can stop showing the clip of us barking in the tunnel.
Man, Frankie, thank you. Frankie, yes.
I agree.
Every
with
6
100%.
months they show that clip, man. I'm like, dude, that's a Clay Helton team, dude.
You know what hurts though? My brother-in-law sent me we have for our fantasy league or whatever. He for some reason he just randomly posted that and he just tagged me. I was like, I'm not going to curse, but
yeah, dude, man. I'm so tired of him. I'm like, man, how many years ago was that? Like,
do you not know who our coach was?
Right.
I know Adoree Jackson was the only one that showed up in that game. So
Sam Darnold showed up for that one.
Biggie had a pick.
Biggie, okay.
Did he?
Yeah, Biggie Marshall had a pick. Okay. I think that was his first one. I think he was a freshman that year.
I'm sorry. Mistaken. All of that just was a blur for me. I don't recall that game ever happening.
I hear you, man. There's a lot about the Hilton era that I want to erase. Well, yeah, no, that never happened.
What rank were we going to that game? 5?
No, we were.
Top 5, top 10. I mean,
no, I think we were bad already. We knew we were gonna lose.
Yeah, that was right after the
I was hyped for that game.
Shit. Yeah, and it
Honestly,
looked the first
I'm a-
half we were like, oh, okay. Then
Right.
Lane just let it rip on us, man.
Not gonna lie, I think Helton set Max up for that game. He set him up for that game to put Darnold in. Because
That's
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
interesting.
love I can't remember his last name. Max Brown, yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't know. He kind of threw him. Well, they were both going to be their first year starters for that one because that was after Cody Kessler left, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I'm done with that clip. That needs to be what is it called? Archived after we beat them.
Right. And that's a whole nother thing that they didn't really take into consideration. Got a whole new quarterback, transitioning from that. Still had a whole ongoing quarterback battle going on. But yeah, they don't want to talk about what happened the rest of that year, right? Didn't we win out?
Yep, beat Penn State.
Sam Darnold, yeah.
It's very similar to Oregon last year, but they don't want to talk about that.
We did better than Oregon. We ended out better.
Well, of course, we're always better than Oregon. Everything better than Oregon. But yeah, anybody got anything else before we wrap this up?
I'm good on my end.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go check out Blackie Chan Gaming over there on Twitch. I'm pretty sure he's going to get into it in a little bit.
Yeah, and I'll be streaming some college football this
There you
weekend. So
Go ahead and
to
check
all
him out.
to all the Trojan fans, dads, husbands, do your chores this week. Do all your errands. Because
Yeah, man, get ahead of those, man. So you have some free time.
Exactly.
Catch all these games.
I know I'm gonna do all my chores for the rest of the year.
Right, yeah. Take care of the honeydews, man. Take care of all your honeydews so you can sit on the couch and watch some games, man.
Exactly.
All right.
And
For
then
all
a
that-
shout out to the people that did show up to the podcast. I appreciate the love, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Frankie, man. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Frankie and Anthony James showing up. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
I actually got I got a follower on Twitch during this. So shout outs to Punnykins or Punykins. Shout out for you.
Okay,
Following.
Oh, nice. Well, all right, man. With that being said, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up, and maybe we'll come up with you with some post game this Sunday, man. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you guys know on the date and time. So just be ready for that notification. But you got to subscribe first to get the notification.
That's
Go ahead and
right.
hit that subscribe button.
All right.
All right. So with that being said, fight on.
Right on.